Welcome students. I am Dr. Smita Sharma and today I will discuss you the assignment that I had given to you many days back that was related to differential amplifier. I am providing you the brief answers of the questions that I had given in the assignment. Actually, no student has given me the solution of the assignment. Either you must have not understood the topic or you are too lazy to write down the assignment. Anyway, we'll discuss the assignment solution. So the assignment given to all students was something like this. It was related to differential amplifier. It had short questions that I had provided 2 marks each. First question was define a differential amplifier. Then what are 4 differential amplifier configuration? What does the term balanced output mean? Can differential amplifier amplify DC input signals? What is meant by direct coupling? Why is DC analysis of differential amplifier carried out? Give significance of operating point. What is meant by AC and DC equivalent circuit? What is the advantage of constant current bias over emitter bias? And 10th question was, what is the use of level translator circuits? All these questions, the theory about all these questions was discussed in the differential amplifier lectures, and you were required to answer all these consulting your course books or reference books. I am providing you solution of these answers, but you can always improve these answers. So first of all, first question was define a differential amplifier. So we know what is a differential amplifier. It is basic building block of an op-amp. This we have read. Then it consists of a two symmetrical common emitter section and is capable of amplifying the difference between two input signals. What is it? It is basically an analog circuit having two inputs and one output, and this output is proportional to difference between the two voltages. All this we have read in detail. Also, it can in its differential amplifier definition, it is better to include it can amplify AC as well as DC input signals because it employs direct coupling. So this is small definition of a differential amplifier. Next, what are 4 differential amplifier configuration? These we have discussed, and one of the configuration we have discussed in detail. So what are the 4 differential configuration? These are dual input balanced output differential amplifier, dual input unbalanced output, single input balanced output, and single input unbalanced output differential amplifier. If the question is asked of 2 marks, simply writing this will not get you 2 marks. So you should include these points also. These configuration are defined by number of input signals used and the way an output voltage is measured. This you know, but you should write this. Dual input means two input signals are used, single input means single input is used, and how output voltage is measured is described by balanced and unbalanced output thing. Also you should include the thing that I have spoken. If use two input signal, the configuration is said to be dual input, otherwise it is single input configuration. And similar way we'll write about output. On the other hand, if the output voltage is measured between two collectors, it is referred to as balanced output, otherwise it is an unbalanced output. in this case, for unbalanced output case, the output is measured across any one of the collectors with respect to ground. So these 4 points should also be mentioned along with the 4 amplifier configuration names if the question is asked of 2 marks. Next question is, what does the term balanced output mean? Now this term balanced output we have already discussed in the previous question, so we'll just write it in brief. The term balanced output in a differential amplifier, because we in balanced output can mean according to English it can mean in different ways, but in differential amplifier we are discussing what does it mean in differential amplifier. So it is better to write the term balanced output in a differential amplifier means that the output voltage is measured between two collectors and it is referred to as balanced output because this is the main reason of the balanced output, because both the collectors are at same DC potential with respect to ground. This is the most important part that you should write. It is referred to as balanced output because both the collectors are at the same DC potential with respect to ground. This is the main reason we term it as balanced output. This part is not necessary to write in the configuration question. Here it is very necessary. Now the next question is, can differential amplifier amplify DC input signals? So think about it. Can it amplify DC input signals? Yes. We have already in the starting we have written that it can amplify both AC and DC signals because it employs direct coupling. Yes, it can amplify a DC voltage. But which type of DC voltage it amplifies, that we will specify. Many signal in applications such as temperature, pressure, weighing, etc. change so slowly that they can be considered DC. So in many applications the signal variation which is related to temperature, pressure, etc. are very slowly changing, so they can be considered almost constant. So constant or they are not changing with respect to time, so we are considering them equivalent to DC. That type of DC differential amplifier can amplify. The amplifiers that condition these signals will often use op-amps to buffer and boost the signal level. So these amplifier will generally use op-amps. Now here one more question can arise. If transistors, we use in differential amplifier we use transistors and transistor acts as an amplifier. So if we can equally use a transistor for an amplification, then why we are using a differential amplifier or why we are using an op-amp? This is question to be asked in other assignments. So please prepare this answer also. Why? I am not answering this question, but I am just asking you why transistor is capable of amplifying the signal, then why we are using a differential amplifier, or in better words we can say why we are using an op-amp for amplification. This can be asked. Now the next question is, what is meant by direct coupling? I don't know how many of you have studied electronics at BSc level, although in all the syllabuses electronics is included. So there we in transistor chapter we study types of coupling. So basically there in transistors for an amplifier we discuss 4 types of coupling. First is RC coupled coupling, second is LC coupling, third is transformer coupling, and fourth is termed as direct coupling. So these are four types of coupling. Now what is coupling? Coupling is generally to connect one amplifier stage to another amplifier stage, or to make a multi-stage amplifier. A coupling is used. Why coupling is used? So that we might have a higher voltage gain or any type of gain. In electronics, direct coupling or DC coupling, it is also called a conductive coupling, is the transfer of electrical energy by means of a physical contact via a conducting medium, in contrast to inductive coupling and capacitive coupling. It means one stage is directly coupled to the another stage. The conductive coupling can be simply a wire or a resistor. There are no L or C included in between in any form. Conductive coupling passes the full spectrum of frequency, including direct current. So what is the benefit of conductive coupling? It allows all type of frequencies to pass through it, including direct current, because we already know that L blocks AC and C blocks DC, but conductive coupling allow all full range of spectrum of frequency. Such coupling may be achieved by a wire, resistor, or a common terminal. Now, in case of amplifiers, when the coupling of the amplifier stage is done directly and no coupling devices. What are coupling devices? Combination of R and C, combination of L and C, a transformer is used. These are coupling devices that connect one amplifier stage to another amplifier stage. If no coupling devices are used and one stage is directly connected to another stage, then that is termed as direct coupling, and the amplifier is called direct coupled amplifier. So in case of amplifiers, when the coupling of the amplifier stages is done directly and no coupling devices are used, then amplifier is called as direct coupled amplifier. So this is all about direct coupling, although it is still very brief. Next question is, why is DC analysis of a differential amplifier carried out? Now this DC analysis of differential amplifier we have discussed when we had studied about the DC analysis. Now basically in differential, there also I had given you why DC analysis is carried out. So basically DC analysis is carried out to obtain an stable operating point. So here what we will write, the DC analysis is carried out to obtain the operating point values. These, if you remember, we had calculated two values, ICQ and VCEQ, for the transistors used in the differential amplifier. So basically we carry out DC analysis to obtain these two values. The supply voltages are DC while the input signals are AC. This we know. Generally input signals are AC and supply voltages are DC. So in the DC, if you obtain a DC equivalent circuit, we can simply reduce the input AC signals to 0. This also we had discussed when we had carried out the DC analysis. Now the next question is, give significance of operating point. Now here this is a slightly deviated question, because operating point term comes in DC analysis. So we are this question has been given and sometimes it has been asked. So what is operating point? Basically what is operating point, that we'll go back in the transistor characteristic curves where there and load line. So what is the definition? When a line is drawn joining the saturation and cutoff points, such a line can be called as a load line. This we have studied in transistors. This line, when drawn over the output characteristic curves, makes contact at a point called as operating point. So if you remember or visualize an output characteristic curve of a transistor amplifier, then and if we plot a load line between them, then it cuts each and every output characteristic curve at a specific point. All those points can be termed as operating point, but all of them do not act as an operating point. This operating point is also called as quiescent point or simply Q point. There can be many such intersecting points, but the Q point is selected in such a way. So what I was saying that when we draw many curves and a line is drawn across it, so the line cuts each and every curve. That each and every curve can act as an operating point, but operating point is only one, and that we select intelligently. There can be many such intersecting points, but the Q point is selected in such a way that irrespective of AC signal swing, the transistor remains in active region. It is so chosen so that if the voltage AC signal swings means it moves from positive to negative, then there is no clipping of the signal or distortion of the signal. We get easily all the parts of the input signal. The operating point should not get disturbed as it should remain stable to achieve faithful amplification. The point should be chosen in such a way that if we are providing some input signal, then it should follow, it should give a faithful amplification. Now what is faithful amplification? Faithful amplification is the process in which the input signal applied is completely amplified and reproduced without any losses. This is a good amplifier is that which have a stable operating point. And what does that mean? That means that if we provide some signal, input signal, then that amplifier amplifies it and it simply amplifies it without any losses or distortion in the input in the signal. I have not shown here any diagram. You should consult your books, and when you will see the diagram, you will understand what I was trying to say. I have deliberately not included any diagram in this question. Now next question is, what is meant by AC and DC amplifier equivalent circuit? This you can easily answer because we have discussed AC and DC equivalent circuits in detail. First of all, we'll here define what is an equivalent circuit. It is an arrangement of simple electrical components that is electrically equivalent to a complex circuit and is used to simplify circuit analysis. So basically, why we draw an equivalent circuit? We draw an equivalent circuit to simplify a complex circuit, and equivalent circuit is drawn in such a way that its behavior remains similar to the complex circuit. A DC equivalent of a circuit can be constructed by replacing all capacitances with open circuits, inductances with short circuits, and reducing AC sources to zero. I have deliberately defined this because when we had discussed DC analysis, I had provided you DC equivalent circuit. What is DC? How will you make a DC equivalent circuit there? But there was no L or C. So this simply we had reduced AC signals to zero. So some might have a thinking that only by reducing AC signals to zero we can get a DC equivalent circuit. No, it is necessary if there is L, then it should be replaced by short circuit, and if there is C, then they should be replaced by an open circuit. So that this is necessary. An AC equivalent circuit can be constructed by reducing all DC sources to zero. This we had discussed in AC analysis. Also, in this question we can also include, I have not included, but you can also include that DC equivalent circuit is basically used for obtaining a stable operating point. This answer can also be written why you are doing DC analysis, and second, why you are performing AC analysis, or what is the relevance of AC equivalent circuit. In both the answers we can write that AC equivalent circuit is basically made or used to obtain voltage gain, input resistance, output resistance, etc., current gain, etc., for an amplifier circuit. So basically it is used here. AC analysis is also carried out because of this reason. So this is an AC and DC amplifier equivalent circuit. Now next question is, what is the advantage of constant current bias over emitter bias? Now if you go through the differential amplifier lectures, you will see that initially we had made a differential amplifier simply by joining the two emitters to a resistor, and that resistor was connected to the power supply. That simple connection, two emitters connected together, and then finally the common terminal was connected to a resistor and then to the voltage supply, that simple combination is termed as emitter bias. This was the emitter bias. But we had seen that in order to for good performance of a differential amplifier, it is necessary that this emitter current should remain constant. Because of many reasons, this current does not remain constant. In order to make this resistance constant, we use a better biasing circuit, and that biasing circuit is called constant current bias. Now what we will write in this answer, we'll discuss it. We know differential amplifier is an electronic amplifier which amplifies the difference in between the input voltage but suppresses the common voltage in between the two inputs. This is basic differential amplifier. It suppresses the common mode voltage and common voltage, and it amplifies the difference of the two input voltages. It is important for quiescent current to be constant so that there is constant collector voltage at the common mode. So what is necessary? The input current or the emitter current should remain constant so that collector voltage remains same, constant. The emitter current IE depends upon the value of DC battery, obvious, and the current IE should be constant. Now what is necessary? I had earlier told you that it is necessary that this current, emitter current, should remain constant irrespective of value of DC. If the DC starts to decay or if we change battery, then emitter current should remain constant. For a constant I, the RE should be very high. Now it is necessary that if we want emitter current to be high, then the RE resistor, emitter resistor, should be of very high value. Now if the RE value increases, then it is obvious that IE will decrease because there will be more potential drop at resistor. So what do we do? Therefore, to get a very high value of resistance RE and constant IE, in order to achieve both the condition, we want a high RE and a constant IE, high value of resistance and constant emitter current. A constant current bias is used. Also, One more benefit of constant current bias is, besides supplying the constant emitter current, constant current bias provides a very high source resistance. So this is one of the second advantages, that why we use constant current bias over emitter bias. If you know any or answers that comes into your mind, you can include here also. Now the question is, what is the use of level translator circuit? Now level translator I had discussed you in the differential amplifier lecture. So what you can write in this answer is this: level shifter or translator is usually connected in a typical op-amp so as to shift the DC level at the output of intermediate stage, which is grounded onward to 0. Here again I'll try to make you remember that level, what does level translator do? Level translator basically, there are many stages of amplifier to achieve a higher voltage gain. So if we, and there is direct coupling in an op-amp. So one stage of the amplifier is directly coupled to another stage, directly connected to the another stage of the amplifier, and so on. So what happens when input signal is fed into first stage? It gets amplified and goes into second stage. There it again, the amplified signal goes into second stage, and the second stage amplifies that signal, and again we get a more amplified signal in the output of the second stage, and so on this carries out. But along with this, we have already discussed that in a direct coupling there is amplification of AC as well as DC. So what happens when AC signal is amplified, the DC related to it also gets amplified. So DC level also gets shift because it is being amplified, so it also shifts from one stage to another stage. Now what does this means? This means that if DC level is shifting, then we will not have a stable operating point. So if we will not have a stable operating point, the signal will get amplified, but because the operating point has already shifted from one place to another, then the proper amplification of the output signal will not be observed. Either it will be clipped from above or below, because operating point has already shifted from its actual position where it can amplify both positive and negative part of the AC signal. So what do? We apply an additional circuit that simply pulls back the DC level to its original position after it passed through different stages of the amplifier. So basically this is level translator circuits use. The intermediate stage is basically a differential amplifier which is driven by previous state output. This I have discussed before. The DC level at the output of intermediate stage is good above ground potential. So here what I was trying to explain, that I have written here, that DC level of the output of intermediate stage is above ground potential in case of direct coupling. Hence it is obligatory to use a level shifter in op-amp. So in case of op-amp, we use a level shifter that brings back the DC level, which is because of many stages, it goes above, very much above from the ground potential. So it this level translator tries to bring back that DC level to its ground potential level. So this is use of level translator circuit. So here I have discussed all the 10 questions that I had given you in the assignment. I have given one more assignment, and I was trying to give you some numerical, but no one is because no one is answer. I am not very excited. I will only explain that part that I have already given. And please, I would prefer, if you right or wrong, please try to submit me some answers so that I can be able to find what you are not understanding in the part that we are discussing. Okay, thank you. And if you have any query, you can always ask me on WhatsApp or in Google Classroom, anywhere. I'll try to answer you. Thank you.